Platinum on the rise. Hi everyone and welcome to Ainslie Insights, brought to you by ainslie.com.au, the home of Ainslie Bullion, Ainslie Crypto, Ainslie Wealth and the Gold and Silver Standard. Be sure to have a look. Today, welcome back Alex to talk about platinum. Now, we don't often give platinum the love it deserves. We talk about it, but not all the time because it sort of comes and goes in terms of people being interested in it. But it's had a big move recently. Alex has been all over it. So it's great to have you here today to talk about it. How are you going today, Alex?
I'm going well. How are you?
Good, good. Now you've been looking at this. There was a big move. Can you start us off by talking about that move, and then you were sort of digging into the reasons, and it even got me a little bit excited about it when you started explaining it to me. So give us the big overview.
Well, I mean, there was about a 10% move in platinum about 5 days ago, 7 days ago, and I hadn't actually looked at why it had happened. We quite often buy platinum, and we've been struggling to buy platinum, so I thought I'd just have a quick look. Looks like it was probably driven by a report that came out by the World Platinum Council, who basically said platinum just is in a continued deficit. The first quarter of this year was deficit again, and not only has demand picked up because of the tariffs and what was going on in the US, but it's picked up with jewellery into China. So I think Chinese demand's upticked by 47%, which is huge. You've got ETFs buying it, and output out of the mines are dropping. So right now, there's about 3 to 4 months of above ground platinum, and they're used for catalysts in cars. Like, this is an industrial metal.
I've been looking at platinum a little bit along those lines, and it really shocked me to find that really all the supply was coming from South Africa, and it was really only a few big mines that were doing it.
And
When you say
Russia,
numbers,
which
true,
obviously
yes,
has its issues.
but it was such a small number when you looked at, or a small number of suppliers at least. And when you mention 3 to 4 months of world supply, that blows my mind. That's a really small amount when the supply chain is so fragile.
Yeah, so what would have happened? So, if you remember during COVID, when palladium prices spiked because they were being used in catalytic converters, well, platinum's price stayed pretty level back then. So we always spoke about that people would convert from palladium to platinum, which they've probably done over the last 3 years, perfectly timing the fact that palladium's now cheaper than platinum, but not by much. So palladium at the time was like 130,000 US per kilo, I think it got up to, and platinum sort of sat around 40. So they've converted, and now we're back into platinum shortages. So just like what we always talk about, turning on a new factory takes years, not months. And so we're hitting where demand for platinum's picking up, and people are paying attention, and ETFs are picking this up. So they've gone from a net short position to long positions. Yet people are saying that there's going to be shortages in platinum. We've had 3 years of it, and it's going to get worse by the look of it.
Digging a bit closer into the China information there, what did you say was driving that? Because you mentioned sort of there was a jewelry aspect and things, but it seems like maybe there's more an investment side. What's your breakdown there?
Do you know, I don't know the breakdown, but I do know it's investment in jewelry.
Yeah,
Jewelry
right.
is up like 300% for platinum. So, I mean, if you can, I mean, I know that when I got married, my husband got a platinum ring. I've got a platinum wedding ring. It was really expensive 20 years ago. It's languished. It has done nothing. So in this bull market run, it is at a lower level than it was during COVID, whereas gold and silver are up like 40% and
Mm.
60% respectively. It has done nothing for 3 years, and it's rarer than gold, and people can start using it for jewelry again, because if gold is 160 Australian a kilo, platinum's 55, and it's lasts longer and it's rarer. It's much better for jewelry right now.
And that makes a lot of sense. Particularly the other side of that, you mentioned there might be a little bit of that investment demand coming back, but the investment demand can blow this really out of the water in terms of
That is
where the
the
price
point.
can go. What do you think about the potential here for a bull market? Because as you've said, we've had that initial gain, but when it has been so unloved, so flat for so long, the argument usually is that when you come out of a long-term consolidation like that, the moves can be quite violent. That would seem to line up with what you're saying around supply here, that we could see quite aggressive moves.
I mean, it seems to me like, I mean, in the article today, we put in something by Grady, who's a commodity analyst on Twitter, and he's showing that platinum's just broken out of a triangle, which is really interesting because it's held for a very long time. So it's been consolidating down for the last sort of 4 to 5 years. The fact that it's broken out, even today, gold prices dropped, what, $50 an ounce US. Platinum did not drop. I think it dropped $5 maybe an ounce, and it's recovered all of it by now. So people are not selling this commodity.
And one final question on this that I think you've got sort of specific knowledge on from your background. I know when we've spoken in the past, platinum is also not just harder to source, but it's actually harder to work as well, because it's a difficult metal from the perspective of people who are trying to operate with it. So does that also potentially play in here, that you've got sort of a combination of factors? It's scarce, it's harder to work with. A lot of these things could be catalysts for higher prices as well.
So as far as recycling platinum goes, it's much harder to refine than gold. And gold, palladium, silver, it is significantly harder metal. It's in more minute quantities, and so it's time consuming. You get it wrong all the time. When you're working with platinum, say if you're doing minted products, you have to remelt it in between, whereas other products you can you have to remelt it there's a special process to melt it, which makes it more expensive again to rework. So yeah, there's a lot of issues with platinum that are not priced into this at all. And so from a recycling point of view, they were talking about catalytic converters and things like that being down on volume. Well, no one's going to recycle things when it's cost prohibitive. And I think that's what's going on in the platinum market. So the recycling has been dropping as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of positive factors all seeming to come together here at the moment. So, yeah, appreciate that. Thanks for your a deep dive on that today, Alex. I know it, as I said at the start, it's one that gets a little bit forgotten. It's not that we forget about it, but it's like in the excitement of what's going on with gold and silver, there's obviously much larger volumes going on. We tend to focus on them, and we forget about I don't know whether you call it the big brother or the little brother sitting off to the side there, but it's certainly making me think I need to go and reassess. And I will ask you just one last thing. I remember you giving me the analogy of the swimming pools one time, and that was the last time that really set me off on platinum. Do you want to just end on that?
Oh, do you know, I can't remember what level of swimming pool we got to, but I mean, gold is a couple of Olympic pools, so platinum, if it's 30 times rarer than gold, will be the corner of a pool somewhere. There is not much.
It was like up to your ankles or something. It was that analogy. It was just such a perfect visual analogy.
There is not much of it, and it's a consumer. It's consumed like silver. It's harder to recycle because it's more minute than gold. Gold, a lot of it goes into bullion and gold and jewellery, makes it easier to refine and recycle, whereas platinum gets used, so less and less.
You've left me with it was silver for a bit. It still is silver, but you're making me think of platinum. But thank you again for that, Alex. Really appreciate your work on that.
Oh, thanks. And thanks for the surprise question at the end that I'd completely forgotten about.
Yes, no, it stuck with me that whole time. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll chat again soon.